Welcome to Staff Work Explained, a channel that explores events, projects, and other initiatives happening all over the globe, but with a special focus on what is happening in Africa. In our today's video, we'll be looking at a major infrastructure project that is being implemented in the East African community, the standard gauge railway in Tanzania and Kenya. We'll be looking at similarities and also differences in these two projects. If you are new here, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Also, have a look at several videos that we have made on different topics. Like the videos, leave your comment, and also hit the notification bell so that anytime you upload a new video, you are notified. Kenya and Tanzania are currently implementing standard gauge railway, and these are the largest infrastructure projects in the history of these two countries. The projects are aimed at improving efficiency of the railway transport. These projects have a lot of similarities and differences, and this is what we'll be looking at in this video. In terms of similarities, we find that these two projects are aimed at replacing the old meter gauge railway. They are connecting individual countries with their landlocked neighbors. There's also the issue of these projects passing through sensitive areas and have a huge impact on the environment. They also involve huge cost of money, and most of this money is borrowing from foreign financiers. An overview of the Kenya SGR. This project is running from Port of Mombasa and all the way to Malaba on the border with Uganda. It goes forward to Kampala, the capital city, and then runs further to Kigali, Rwanda, and there's a branch to Juba, South Sudan. The Kenyan part of railway, which is 1,000 kilometers, is being done by the Kenya Railway. That's the organization that is responsible for the construction of this part. It is largely part of the Northern Corridor rail network. Northern Corridor is a multimodal trade route linking the landlocked countries of the Great Lakes region with the Kenyan seaport Mombasa. The Northern Corridor is a key transport route in East Africa and Central Africa. It's a transport network that consists of mode of surface transport, which includes road, rail, pipeline, inland waterways, and all these connect to the port of Mombasa. Tanzania SGR will run from Dar es Salaam to to Mwanza via Isaka, and it's expected to cover a distance of 1,219 kilometers. This will also extend to neighboring countries, the DRC, Rwanda, Burundi, and Uganda. It's part of the Central Corridor that begins at the port of Dar es Salaam and serves Tanzania, Zambia, Rwanda, Burundi, and Uganda, and also Eastern DRC. The project is being done in 5 phases, and they're almost running concurrently. Kenya has already completed the phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 2B and 2C are yet to be done. In terms of routing, Tanzania SGR is built next to meter gauge railway line with few divisions where Kenya line almost acquired new lands in most of the parts. It has deviated from the MGR in many sections. This, according to some analysts, may have escalated the cost since the government had to compensate the landowners. In terms of cost and financing, the 1,000 long track in Kenya is expected to cost 10.7 US dollars. This in terms of billions, while the Tanzania, which is 1,219 kilometers long track in Tanzania, will cost approximately 9 billion. This figure includes the 1.3 billion US dollars that Tanzania may spend in the construction of its portion of Isaka-Kigali rail. In total, it is expected that $14.7 billion dollars will be spent in the construction of the whole central corridor. Unlike Kenya, which has ended up heavily indebted to China for its new railway lines, Tanzania sourced part of its railway financing from Exim, from Export Credit Bank of Turkey and Standard Chartered Bank. Some part of this railway is being constructed with Chinese money. There is the Isaka-Mwanza section, which is 341 kilometers, being constructed by Chinese contractors. Kenya, China Road and Bridge Corporation, which is a subsidiary of China Communications Construction Company, constructed the phase 1 and phase 2 of the project. In Tanzania, Yapi Mackenzie did phase 1, is doing phase 2, and also it has been given phase 3. Phases of Kenya SGR, we have phase 1, which is a single track SGR, which runs between the city of Mombasa and Nairobi, and has a route length of 408 kilometers, but the total length is 609. It runs through the counties of Mombasa, Kilifi, Kwale, Taita Taveta, Makueni, Kajiado, and terminating at Nairobi. Apart from the laying of track, there is also construction of 98 large bridges, which are large and medium. We have 969 culverts, 2 culverts per kilometer. We have 77 overpasses, some of them which are running, crossing roads, and also in the parks. This section of the railway costed 327 billion, out of which 90% was financed by China Exim Bank, and the Kenyan government contributed the 10%. The class 1 line runs parallel to the existing MGR, but new lands were acquired. It also runs parallel to the existing Nairobi Mombasa Road, which is A109 highway, but it deviates at certain points for the purposes of attaining the desired gradient and curvature. As we know, this section of railway has already been completed. It's operational, and the freight trains are also operating. The Tanzania railway, which has 5 phases. The first phase covers a distance of 202 kilometers, runs from Dar es Salaam to Morogoro. This project has 6 main stations: Dar es Salaam, Pugu, Soga, Ruvu, Ngerengere, Morogoro, with Dar es Salaam and Morogoro being the largest stations. The phase was expected to be ready by the end of 2020, but the deadline has been missed due to various factors, including rainfall, flooding in some areas, and also the events that followed the COVID-19. This section is constructed by Yapi Mackenzie and Motor Angelo Africa of Portugal. So these contractors are the ones who are constructed phase 1, phase 2, and they're also in phase 3, which is runs from Makutupora to Tabora, a distance of 294 kilometers. Phase 4 of this project runs from Tabora to Isaka, and it covers a distance of 130 kilometers. Negotiations for these projects are still ongoing. It has not yet started. Phase 5 has started. It was given to China Civil Engineering Construction and the China Railway Construction Company, and it's costing 1.32 billion, covering a distance of 341 kilometers. The part between Dar es Salaam and Makutupora, a distance of 500 kilometers, have features such as bridges, which total 38. There are tunnels, 4. We have overpasses, which are 25, underpasses 32. There are several high voltage electric power signal stations, culverts, among other components. One of the most interesting features of the SGR in Kenya and Tanzania is the tunnel. Both projects have tunnels, Tanzania has a tunnel totaling 2.6 kilometers. These tunnels are for the portion or for the lots between, for the first and second lots. There are 4 tunnels. We have tunnel 1, which is 424 meters, tunnel 2, which is the longest, 1.031 meters, which is found at Kilosa. Then we have tunnel 3, which is 318 meters, and tunnel 4, which is 847 meters. The tunnel at Kilosa, which is 1 kilometer, is the longest of all, and currently it's the longest railway tunnel in Tanzania. It has overtaken the Tazara tunnel, which was 800 meters. Kenya has 3 tunnels in its phase 2A, which runs from Nairobi to Suswa. These 3 tunnels have a total length of 7.14 kilometers. So this makes the Kenya SGR to have the second longest railway tunnels in Africa. The longest railway tunnel in Africa is found in South Africa, in area Hex River Mountains in the Western Cape. This tunnel forms part of a 4 series of 4 tunnels with a total length of 16.8 kilometers. The 3 tunnels in Kenya in the second phase of the SGR include Ngong, which is 4.5 kilometers, the longest. We have Nachu, which is 1.64 kilometers, and then we have Kimuka, which is 1 kilometer. Ngong tunnels, 4.5 kilometers, has been designed as a single track railway tunnel with a clearance height of 9 meters and a width of 7 meters. So this tunnel was the method that was used is the new Australian tunnel method, NATM. And this method is preferred because it is economical, efficient, and has strong capability for different geological and groundwater conditions. It's also preferred because it controls service collapse effectively and enhances the working of environment during construction. In terms of rolling stock of the SGR railway lines, Kenya has diesel rail cars which are currently operating in the 2 phases. We have a passenger train that is operating from Mombasa to Nairobi, and also from Nairobi to Suswa. They operate on a daily basis. Also, freight trains are also in operation. China supplied initial stock to Kenya, which comprised of 56 diesel locomotives, 1,620 wagons, and 40 coaches. Tanzania is sourcing its SGRs rolling stock from Hyundai Rotem of South Korea, and the company is supplying 80 electric trains and 17 electric locomotives for use on the standard gauge railway. The trains which will be used for test are already in the country. In terms of completion and deadlines, the Kenya SGR was fast-tracked. The first phase was completed before the schedule, having started its operation in June 1st, 2017. The second phase also was completed before schedule. Tanzania SGR project has faced some delays. Phase 1, which runs from Dar es Salaam to Morogoro, was expected to be completed by the end of 2020. Up to now, the project still have some components which have not been completed. Laying of track is completed, but there are some components which are useful, which are needed for the project to start, for the train to start moving. These components have not been completed. Then we have the phase 2 Morogoro Makutupora section, which was expected to be completed by February 2021. Sorry. The phase, which is 336 kilometers, is almost 90%. Other sections, phase 3 has started. It started in April 12, 2002. Phase 4 is yet to be started by negotiations are ongoing. Phase 5 has started. It's like Tanzania is building its SGR. Different phases are being built simultaneously, and this may help. This may help in completing the project on time. Kenya, only phase 1 and phase 2A has been done. Phase 2B and 2C are yet to be done because funds have not been secured. The government has embarked on revamping the meter gauge railway, which is providing the connection for the parts which is remaining. So once goods are transported from port of Mombasa to Nairobi port, inland port, and Naivasha port, then they are transported to, for those which are going to Uganda, they are transported through the existing MGR to Uganda. Also, the construction of the phase 5, some reviewers, so some analysts have said that Tanzania constructed phase 5 which terminates at Mwanza, so it's to allow linkages from countries such as Uganda and Kenya, transportation of goods between these two countries in that section. In terms of electrification, Tanzania's SGR system is designed to use electricity for powering its train. 220 kV single circuit transmission line has been constructed and will be operated by TANESCO, the Tanzania Electric Supply Company Limited. Kenya had plans to upgrade the already existing SGR, but it dropped the plan for electrification of the SGR because of the cost, and also arguing that demand for this type of trains is low in Kenya. In terms of impacts that these projects will have on the environment, these projects are both passing through sensitive habitats where they are likely to have some significant environmental impacts. In Tanzania, the natural and critical habitats which are affected include the forest reserves of Pugu, Ruvu South, Chisungwe, the Ngerengere, as well as some pockets of thickets between Dodoma and Makutupora, among other places. Kenya's SGR casts through a wide range of countries, ecological, fragile, and important ecosystems. For instance, the railway cuts across Tsavo National Parks and Nairobi National Parks. Tsavo National Parks is known to support about 40% of the population of elephants. Nairobi Parks is also a sensitive area. It also traverses through areas in southern Kenya that support pastoral communities and are vulnerable to impacts of climate change and land use. So these two projects have significant impact on the environment. Measures have been taken to mitigate some of these effects. For example, the Kenya line, which passes through the national parks, measures have been taken to construct channels to allow movement of animals. And also the portion that passes through the Nairobi National Park is built. There is an overpass to allow animals to move uninterrupted. So these two projects have some significant differences and similarities, but does in no way can we say that one project is superior. Although we have significant differences in terms of cost, these differences can be explained by some of the components that we have touched. For example, Kenya is constructing its railway almost in new lands which were acquired, and these lands had to be compensated. Tanzania is constructing its railway in an area that the government already owns. Most of the parts are owned by the government since it's using the reserve, the MGR reserve. So we'll continue looking at these two projects to see their progress. It's expected by year 2025, probably both projects will be done, and Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi will have started their portions of SGRs. So thank you for watching this channel. If you are new to this channel, I request you to subscribe, make a comment, like, also don't forget to hit the notification bell so that whenever we upload a new video, you are notified. So thank you and welcome for more videos.